Hello everyone, now in our series of videos of how to make stream processing easier, today we're going to be talking about getting data in and out of Apache Kafka using stream reactors from Lenses.io. Now obviously Kafka Connect is a popular framework for doing this sort of thing. Stream reactors extends Connect to provide things like to-target mapping, field selection, and more to your Kafka Connect configuration. So basically it's going to make it even easier for you to build data pipelines. So let's take a quick look. So we're starting from a view of a live stream of data coming into a payments topic from a microservice application. If we take a deeper inspection, we're going to see some of the key and the fields extracted from the payload information. So we have account, amount, currency for each payment transaction. Now what we're going to do is extend our data pipeline and forward some of these metrics onto a time series database. Now as I mentioned, Kafka Connect is a great framework for doing this sort of thing. And luckily I can monitor and inspect my Kafka Connect clusters from within Lenses. So here, for example, I have a single cluster with a single worker node and a couple of running connectors. So let's go ahead and create a new connector. And as you might expect, you have a choice of default source and sink connectors, but you can also import your own custom jars. And you might be thinking, well, this is a lot like what I can do in Confluent Control Center, for example, if you're familiar with that. Well, the answer is yes and no. But Lenses also contributes and maintains its own set of connectors, known as stream reactors, under an Apache license. Now, you can access these from the Lenses GitHub repo, and you can contribute yourself if you like. But of course, you might be thinking, well, what's the point of having these different set of connectors? Well, they're slightly different. They expose a KCQL syntax, that's C, literally letter C, Kafka Connect query language. This is going to simplify even further building your data pipeline by providing a syntax that's going to allow you to configure how to map data to the target system, ultimately saving you time, making config simpler, and allowing you to integrate into a CI pipeline. Now it's important to mention that your standard Kafka Connect connectors can be used. You're not just limited to Lenses' stream reactors here. So we want to publish that data onto an InfluxDB instance. So we're going to select the Influx Stream Reactor. And like with any standard Kafka Connect connector, you need to enter the relevant configuration. So give it a name, the topic that we want to subscribe to, and obviously details of our InfluxDB settings. So now we come to that KCQL. Now, as I mentioned, this is going to allow us to decide how we're going to map to the target system in InfluxDB. So here we're specifying sending the data to a payments transaction measurement or table in Influx. And then we're including a nested query SQL statement, which is specifying those two fields, account and amount, that we want to forward on from that payments topic. Now, in later videos, I'll show you more sophisticated ways of doing stream processing, but for the time being, this will do. And just before we run the connector, let's quickly check Influx for any measurements. It should return null. So now we can go back and run our connector. And if we check that one running task that we have, we should see data flowing through. Now let's quickly double check Influx again, and we should see those measurements. How easy was that? And just one more thing before we end. If you've watched some of my other videos, I showed you how you can monitor your streams within a topology view in Lenses. Now here we can see our full data pipeline from that payments microservice application, publishing to that payments topic, and then out through that stream reactor to InfluxDB that we've just created. Okay, hope that was useful. You can subscribe to the channel for more tips that we publish. Please support us by liking this video, and you can also follow us on LinkedIn and Twitter, details below as always. Thanks for watching, and à plus.